So today, I want to discuss a very sensitive subject. How to know if you're being used in a relationship. How do you know? How do you know if someone's taking advantage of you, if they don't really like you, if they don't really value you, if they're just keeping you around because you provide benefits for them? So I made a list of 10 things that are clear signs that you are being used in a relationship, that your partner doesn't really like you, doesn't really want you, but is only with you to reap all the benefits of being with you. Number one, your partner asks you for money all the time. Whether you are the only one with a job, or he has a job but it doesn't pay enough, or he's just asking you for money, this is a big sign. This is like, I would have to say, this is the biggest sign that you are being taken advantage of. If you have a partner who refuses to get a job, or if he has a job, he's still just asking you for money, then you know that he's using you. I've had friends in the past who dated guys who they go out, the females go out to work and they come home and bring their entire paycheck to their man while the man is sitting at home all day long. And these women, they do this on a weekly basis. So I had a friend named Sarah, and Sarah had a decent job. She was a bartender at a fancy restaurant in the city. And she used to work, and she'd make tips at night. She'd make about $200 in tips, or even more, because she worked in a really nice restaurant. And plus, she'd get her little paycheck. They paid the minimum wage at that time, plus the tips. So every night she'd have to go home and give her boyfriend, Brad, her entire tips. Everything she made in tips, she'd have to give him her entire take for the night. Everything. So he would collect it under the pretense of he would be the one managing the money for the house, and she was stressed out enough just working, so he would take her money and pay all the bills and then give her a little money, just to be able to get back and forth to work, to be able to do her nails, maybe her hair. That's what he would do. So every night she'd come home and give him 200, and then the money would disappear. He would do whatever he wanted to do with the money. And he refused to work. When she met him, he had a little job that he was making something, but even when he had the job, he still required her to give him her entire paycheck and tips. So that was a sign. I always tried to get in her ear and tell her that she was being used. She was being used, but she just refused to listen to me. She said that it was their arrangement. She said that women do it all the time. Women stay home, and then when their men come home, the men give them the paycheck and they take care of all the bills. But I assured her that it was different. I'm not saying that women cannot use men in the same way or in a similar way, but usually a woman who's a stay-home mother or wife, she usually has some kind of arrangement with her husband where, yes, he might put all the money in one account for them to share, but that's completely different than going home and handing over your money to a partner who's just sitting home playing video games all day, or out hanging out with other chicks and just collecting from you. You are being pimped. And I hate to use that word, in just a unique way. Guys pimp women this way all the time as well. They play them, they take their money, and usually you'll see a guy who's running around with a woman who you feel like the guy could do better, superficially speaking. The woman's not necessarily as attractive as he is. She might be a little overweight or something like that. And you usually look at the couple like, that's an odd couple. It's a really good looking guy and a basic looking woman. Why are they together? And sometimes this is the reason. This was the reason with my friend Sarah and her boyfriend Brad. Brad was very, very good looking. He was perfect. He would walk into a room and all the women would want him. And Sarah was just basic. She was a little chubby. She was just a regular, plain woman, with flaws. And she would walk into a room and no one would even acknowledge her. No one would even know she's there. She was one of those women who blended in. And she got this really good looking guy, and it came with a price. The price was she had to give her money to this man. And that's sad. So yeah, that's the first reason. He asks for money, whether he has a job or not. He's asking you for money all the time. Either you know to give him your entire paycheck, or he's just always borrowing money from you. 100 here, 200 here, 500 here. He's just always needing money from you. Or he's always trying to get you to take him shopping, buy him new Jordans, buy him new jeans or clothes. You get the idea. I think I've beaten that horse dead enough. So, number two, you pay all or most of the bills in the house. And this is very similar to number one, where he's taking your money. But this one is a sign to look out for. If you have a partner who requires that you pay all the bills or most of the bills, even some guys who require that you pay half the bills in the home, you have to look out for them, because sometimes they are only dating you as sort of a roommate with benefits. Now, listen to me. Yes, I get it. We're in a modern day now where both the man and the woman is both the man and the woman are both out there working, and they typically split the bills. But this is something we have to pay attention to as women. We have to look for signs that our partners actually want us, because yes, people can say whatever they want, and sometimes they're using us and we're unaware of it. So if your man wants you as kind of a roommate who's paying half the bills, and he doesn't really like you like that, but he keeps you around because he wants you to pay half the bills, then yes, he is using you. He's using you to be a roommate that he can sleep with, that will cook for him and clean for him, and he can have the benefits of a girlfriend, but still your roommate until he meets the one he really likes. So if you have a man who's always trying to split bills with you, half 50-50, open your eyes, look for other signs. Maybe he does love you, but he's a modern man who wants to split the bills. Maybe that's just his way of thinking. And if you're fine with that, then I'm fine with that. But if he is just keeping you around, he mistreats you, he doesn't really like you, but he's keeping you there as a roommate with benefits, then you might want to move on, or just think about what you want out of that relationship. Number three, he mistreats you. This is an obvious one too. Usually when a guy mistreats his partner, it could mean a variety of different things. It could mean that he's sick of the relationship. It could mean that he's not really into her. It could mean that, she's annoying to him. He doesn't like her personality, or he could just be an abusive man. It could have nothing at all to do with the partner at all. This is where we have to look deeper into why we're being mistreated. If your man is constantly telling you that you are not good enough for him, that you're doing all these things wrong in the relationship, that he doesn't like something about you, your personality, things that make you you. Like, he doesn't like the way you look. He doesn't like your personality. These are all things that make you you. So if he doesn't like those things, then he doesn't like you. And that's where I think women go wrong. We think, oh, he just doesn't like these things about me, but he likes me. But think about it logically. How can someone hate everything about you but still like you? It is completely impossible. They are with you for a different reason, whether they're just used to you or they're afraid of change, they're avoidant, blah, blah, blah. But they don't really like you. So a lot of guys, when they're in a situation with a woman who they feel is just beneath them, that they could do better, they will mistreat her. If they're there with you just to use you, then they will mistreat you because they don't really want you. You're serving a purpose to them. So yes, you're going to be irritating to them more than someone who they want to have, right? So they kind of hate you for letting them use you, if that makes any sense. Sometimes men resent us when we let them get away with certain things, because it shows them that you have no value, that you have no self-love, and they despise that, though it's benefiting them. Get it? All right. So number 4, you do all the housework. You do all the work around the house. You do all the cooking, the cleaning. If you have children, you tend to the children. You do every single thing in the house. And he does nothing. He sits there. He puts his feet up. He does nothing around the house but complain and demand and demand. This is usually a sign that he is using you. Now, if you have a situation where your man goes out to work and he comes home and he pays all the bills, and your sole responsibility is to make sure the house is good, then you have an arrangement. So you can't, this is different. He's not using you. His job is to go out there and bring the bacon home, and your job is to take care of the house and the kids. So this is a different situation and cannot be seen as that he's using you, because this is an arrangement. But if you have to get up, go out to work, pay most of the bills or half the bills, yet and you still have to come home, you do all the cleaning, you do all the cooking, you take care of all the children, you do everything around the house, and your man does absolutely nothing, then he might be keeping you around just for that. I know it makes no sense to us. Why would someone waste their time with someone they don't like? But if they see that they have a full-time maid who's also paying the bills, they will stick around with that until they find a perfect woman. Some of them will stick around with it forever because it's a great arrangement for them. They can just cheat with whoever they like on the side while having you work as a maid and a live-in roommate, right? A roommate with benefits. So look for that. The roles, the responsibilities of maintaining a home should be divided. So if you are doing all the cleaning, all the cooking around the house, he should be doing something else around the house. He should be fixing it, doing the yard work, doing something else. The responsibilities should be shared. It shouldn't just be you doing all the work and he's putting his feet up. No, it should be shared somehow. Moving on. So he always asks for favors. Now, it's okay to have your partner want a favor from you every now and then. He needs you to do something. He needs you to take his car for a quick oil change because he works all the time and doesn't have time to do those things. Yeah, it's okay to do a favor once in a while, but if you have a man who's constantly asking you for favors every single time, matter of fact, anyone who's always asking you for favors, just once a week, once a day, once an hour, whatever it is, that person only contacts you when they need a favor, they always want you to do something for them, then that could also mean that this person is using you. They don't have your interests. They just see you as an easy target. Life is tough, and women, I need us to get stronger. We have to get stronger. We have to be able to discern when someone wants us or when they're just using us because we're convenient for them. So if your man is always asking you for favors, he's sitting there, he wants you to get him a beer 15 times for the night. He wants you to get him water. He wants you to cook him food. He wants all these things from you. He might just be using you, especially if he's mistreating you on top of all these things. Number one thing to look for alongside these things that I mentioned, such as asking you for money, paying all the bills, blah, blah, blah. If he's mistreating you while all these other things are taking place, then he is using you, period. So next, he only wants you for sex, obviously. Someone only wants to call you to come over to the house, hang out with them only when they're horny and they're looking for sex, then you know they're using you. They are completely using you. So if your man only wants to hang out with you when he needs a booty call, he calls you up at 2 a.m., or after the clubs, and he wants you to come over quickly to have a quickie, or he wants you to spend the night with him after he's drunk with all his friends. He doesn't really spend time with you. He doesn't take you out. He doesn't spend money on you. He doesn't buy you anything. Doesn't do anything for you. Then he only wants you for sex. Then he is using you. Look for the other signs. If a man is calling you for, first of all, women, I need us to stop this booty call thing. Buy a vibrator. You don't need to do booty calls. Usually when a man is calling you for a booty call, he's treating you like unpaid prostitute. And this should be very offensive to you. If you're gonna be a prostitute, get some money for it. I don't judge anyone. Whatever you gotta do to make money, you do for your money. But if a man is treating you like a prostitute and not putting money on the dresser when he's done, then you're selling yourself short. You are. So don't do booty calls. Respect yourself. Booty calls do not serve you. Get a vibrator. We'll go into that in another video, but you know what I mean. We need to stop selling ourselves short. That's why men do what they do, is because a lot of women out there allow it. If we were not allowing these things to take place, then a man would not be able to do it. It's common sense. If women wouldn't allow a man to call them up at 2 a.m. and they would run over for a booty call, then men wouldn't do it. Period. That upsets me. We need to stop. Another thing, he only spends time with you when he's bored, right? So if a man is only spending time with you when he's bored, or once again when he wants sex, then it's obvious he's using you. So if he would rather make plans with his buddies to go out, go do this, go do that, but everyone's got plans and that's when he calls you up just to hang out on the couch, he's not really making any real plans with you, such as, oh babe, let's go away for the weekend, let's go do this, it's fun, let's go away for the night, oh let's go to try this nice restaurant here, there, the other, oh let's go check out this art exhibit, let's do this. If he's not making these plans with you, he's just calling you up like, sup, what are you doing, want to come over, want to come sit on my couch and watch TV and give me some sex. If he's only doing that, then you have a man that is using you. Sorry to burst your bubble, sweetie, but he's using you. Another thing to look for is when a man tells you that you're not his type. And he may not say that in those words. He may tell you, oh, I'm into blondes when you're a brunette, or I'm into redhead, or I usually don't date women who look like you. The women who I date are usually in fitter, they're skinnier, taller, prettier, whatever they're saying to you. If they're blatantly saying you're not my type, then pay attention to this. Now, this alone is not enough to say that someone's using you. But if someone's saying you're not my type and I need you to pay all the bills in the house, then you know they're using you. If they're going, you're not my type and I need you to clean everything and do all the housework, then you need to pay attention. One last thing, you're not my type and I need you to come over and give me sex just when I need it, then they're using you. Okay? Enough said. Last thing on my list, I only have 9. I thought I had 10, but I had 9. So he treats you as an option. And yes, of course, some guys just don't know how to act. They don't know how to treat women. And so it might come off as if they're treating you as an option. But usually when a man is treating you as an option, you'll be well aware of it. It just means that he's treating you like he can do without you. Right? So he's not making you feel special, making you feel like you're the one, that he's met someone special and that he's happy to have you. He is treating you like, oh, I could take you or leave you. Oh, I'm going to put you up on this shelf while I go have fun with other people. I'm going to break up with you and date another woman for a while and then I'll call you if it doesn't work out. If they're treating you like this, then they're using you. They're using you for your vulnerability, your low self-esteem. They see these things in you and they are taking advantage of it. And humans love to take advantage. That's what we do. It's embedded in us. We take advantage of the weak, the vulnerable, whatever we see that we can have an advantage over. So if a man meets you and he sees that you have low self-esteem, that you don't think highly of yourself, then yeah, they'll exploit the hell out of it. They'll use you until they can't get anything else out of you, and they'll kick you to the curb. Or they'll use you till they meet the one that they want, and then they kick you to the curb brutally. Brutally. Remember that. So that's my list, ladies. So I have 9 things there. 9 reasons a man will 9 ways to tell if you are being used in a relationship. So pay attention to those. And just as an end note, you owe it to yourself to build your self-esteem. If you see what you're doing makes no sense, you have questions about how you're being treated, you have questions about your place in the relationship, about what your man thinks about you, you feel like you're being used, because when you are being used, you can feel it. You feel it. You feel taken advantage of. You need to question these things and then stand up for yourself, because if you don't stand up for you, someone's going to exploit you. And you're going to be dumped. This man is going to use you and dump you, and you'll move on to another relationship and you'll get exploited there too. A man could start out with the best intentions for you, but if he sees he can use you, yeah, he might use you. Okay? So, pay attention, ladies. We need to be stronger. All right, don't forget to like the video and subscribe and share it with a friend. I'm sure someone else needs to hear this as well. We're all women. At one point in my life, I needed to hear this and I didn't. So I figured I'll make a video. Maybe I'll save someone else the pain of figuring it out for themselves. You have a great day.